For weeks, the government insisted their education minister was untouchable. Then, a satirical student group known as the Cockroach Janta Party cracked that armor wide open, forcing a resignation that shook New Delhi. To understand how this happened, you have to look at the test takers. Millions of students poured years of their lives into preparing for the NEET-UG medical exams, only to find their futures held hostage by rampant paper leaks and institutional failures. In the wake of the scandal, the academic pressure turned fatal. Multiple students across the country died by suicide, driven to the edge by the realization that their hard work had been nullified by a compromised system. As families began burying their children, the institutional failure evolved into a massive social revolt. The negligence of the examination system had crossed a line, igniting a fierce, youth-led uprising that the state could no longer ignore. At first, the ruling party closed ranks around Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan. He remained confident and visibly secure in his position of power. Official government sources leaked statements defending him, confidently telling the press that his resignation was not on the cards, and arguing that quitting was simply the easiest decision to take. Instead of engaging with the angry crowds, the state deployed a physical barrier. When thousands of students marched toward Parliament seeking answers, they hit a wall of police resistance. The confrontation turned violent. Delhi police forces cracked down on the unarmed crowds, deploying fierce laticharges and firing pellet guns directly into the ranks of the students. The brutality drew the immediate attention of the political opposition. Rahul Gandhi stepped up to the microphones outside 10 Janpath with a sharp revelation. He claimed the Prime Minister's cabinet had no intention of firing Pradhan. Instead, they were allegedly scheming to quietly shuffle him to another portfolio to protect him from the political fallout. The prospect of the minister dodging accountability through a quiet transfer enraged the protesters even further. The attempt to shield him pushed the students past the point of negotiation. The epicenter of this outrage was Jantar Mantar, where a satirical organization calling itself the Cockroach Janta Party morphed into a disciplined political machine. The CJP had 3 demands: immediate dismissal of the education minister, legal amnesty for students, and financial compensation for the victims. The government quietly assured they would grant amnesty and compensation, but they refused to bend on firing the minister, bringing negotiations to a halt. The CJP drew a hard line. Ashutosh Renka announced if Pradhan was protected, talks were over, and they would mobilize a massive disruptive march directly on Parliament. The students had successfully trapped the ruling government in a political vice. The administration couldn't spin the narrative, and they couldn't afford the optics of another violent clash at the gates of their own legislature. Just hours before the crucial meeting was set to begin, the administration's defensive wall completely collapsed. Dharmendra Pradhan formally submitted his resignation to the Prime Minister, making the public announcement on X. His letter was a careful exercise in saving face. He claimed he was stepping down strictly to respect youth power, while arguing the resignation was necessary to prevent anti-national forces from exploiting the situation. At Jantar Mantar, the political spin didn't matter. The crowd erupted. CJP founder Abhijit Dipke took the stage, shouting to the masses that they had done the impossible by forcing a powerful minister to step down. The resignation ended a weeks-long deadlock and broke the government's public commitment to shield the minister. By forcing the hand of the Prime Minister, the students demonstrated that even a command with a large majority is vulnerable to a unified front. The students secured a clean sweep. They won the compensation, they killed the legal threats, and they removed the man at the top. The concession exposed a deep vulnerability in the ruling party. As Rahul Gandhi remarked to the press, the administration suddenly looked like India's past, struggling and failing to fight off the demands of its future. But removing a single politician doesn't fix a rot that runs this deep. The National Testing Agency, the exam protocols, and the flawed bureaucracy that allowed the paper leaks are still fully operational. The students won a crucial battle at Jantar Mantar. The question now is whether this momentum will survive to win the actual war for the integrity of India's education system. Subscribe and share this video to keep the pressure on.